As he ends up the stairs, watch this bedroom door. It seems to open all by itself.
Anyone inside, make yourself known.
Did you see it? As he rounds the corner, this door is already moving and already open.
What's going on, y'all? It's another episode of Garandaglass. Of course, I am Anthony Moore, and it's a solo episode. I decided to come out here in honor of Halloween to Real Simple Retreats in Grant, Alabama. Like a tiny house, and it's a really nice place. Got your own porch set up. Got two-story loft area with a bed up there. You have like the master bedroom downstairs. Have your shower, full bathroom, so 2 beds, 1 bath. Real nice, secluded place in Grant, Alabama. But real nice for a spooky episode. So I got some stories set up for y'all today that I found. But I'm having my coffee this morning, French vanilla coffee. Then I'm pairing it with, of course, my favorite cigar, Sweet Jane by Deadwood. Let me go ahead and start this up. I ain't want to start without y'all. I hope you're enjoying your Halloween weekend, going to your scary houses and corn mazes. I probably won't get to hit one this year, but next year for sure. All right, so I got a few scary stories for y'all that I found online. I want y'all to really let me know if it's creepy or cap. Now, creepy meaning that you're thinking that it's real, or it's a little bit scary or, creepy. Or is it cap? I know this first one is talking about this policeman's body cam footage when he went into this house to see if there was anybody that had broke in. Let's check it out.
It's an Airbnb owned by a young lady. The young lady assures the police officers that there is no one in the house, and that when she arrived home from shopping, the front door was opened. At first it seems like an empty house, but as the officer moves on, unexplained things begin to happen. As he ends up the stairs, watch this bedroom door. It seems to open all by itself.
Anyone inside, make yourself known.
Did you see it? As he rounds the corner, this door is already moving and already open. He's immediately rushed by footsteps running towards him, but when he turns, there's no one there.
I don't know. Interesting. I'm not sure if I believe it or not. I mean, but it's a whole lot of unexplainable things out here, especially when it comes to, seeing dark figures or hearing strange noises. I mean, it could have been the sign of the house. I mean, it is an unknown house. But you never know if somebody broke in or not. So creepy a cap. I'm not sure if that was a good start off to a creepy story, but hey, I wanted to see what y'all thought about it. Now I know if you do smoke cigars or not, like a lot of people like to pair it with, their favorite liquor. But if you've never tried it with a cup of coffee, I'm telling you, I mean, it is amazing, especially like first thing in the morning. Get you a good cup of coffee. And this, of course, my favorite, the Sweet Jane by Deadwood, has that chocolatey flavor to it. If you frequent the show, then I've talked about this cigar numerous of times. So you already know the notes that it has in it. So pair with this coffee is amazing. It's a good way to wake up, get your day started. Well, your relaxing day started anyway. It's good to just take a moment every now and then to just kind of get away from everything, reset, get my mind right, get away from everything, and just enjoy myself. Sometimes seclusion, it really helps. Overall mental state, just everything. So, but enough of that. Let me see what y'all think about this next story.
You're about to hear one of the most disturbing true stories on the internet. In 1921, a German farmer woke up to find a deep set of footprints leading from the forest right up to his back door. Whoever had come to his house had not left yet. After making sure it wasn't just his family, he searched everywhere on his property, in his house, everywhere, and he could not determine who made the prints or where they went. A few weeks later, his maid abruptly quit, saying that every time she's alone in the house, she hears demonic voices in the attic. Shortly thereafter, he and his family start to hear the voices too. When no one's heard from them in a couple days, the neighbors go over to check and they find them in the barn. One by one, each of the family members made their way down to the barn where they were systematically murdered and stacked in the corner. To this day, no one knows who or what is responsible for this crime.
Wow. So, as you saw in the caption, it said, true story. Now, shout out to Mr. Ballin. He really has some in-depth, either horror stories or true crime stories. Really good storyteller. Really good YouTube channel to check out. So shout out to Mr. Ballin. And if you do go check out his page, I advise you do. If you like stories like that, tell him Garden Glass sent you. Shout out to your boy Anthony Moore at Garden Glass Podcast. But anyway, creepy or cap. Creepy or cap. I don't know. I mean, going off of Mr. Ballin's history and how in depth he goes into really investigating and taking the time out to research his stories, I'm thinking this may be true. So I don't know. You let us know in the comments. But on to the next story. Let's see. Creepy or cap.
This story proves there really are just absolute psychopaths out there. One day in 2018, 65-year-old Brad Jackson began ascending the outside stairs toward his second-floor office in Virginia. But when he got about halfway up, he heard something behind him. And so he turned around, and there, just a couple steps away from him, was this strange guy he had never seen before who had this totally wild look on his face. And the man just looked at Brad and said, "Do you know it's a new moon tonight?" Brad could immediately tell something was wrong with him, and so he rushed into his office and locked the door behind him. A few hours later, a naked man covered in blood would come running out of Brad's office. It was the stranger Brad had seen on the stairs. He had managed to break into Brad's office and cut his eyes out with a box cutter before killing Brad, and then after this murderer was apprehended, he would tell police, "You should be thanking me because obviously Brad was a werewolf."
Now, interesting story, but I don't think Brad was no werewolf. I think that dude was just psychotic, just had a moment and wanted to kill somebody. And so he did and claimed that he was a werewolf. Now, whether they held up or not in court, I'm not sure. I highly doubt it. Anyway, let's get to this other story real quick. See what y'all think. Cap or creepy?
This is why you should be very careful who you talk to online. A 16-year-old girl was home with her mom when she got a disturbing text message from a boy she had recently met on Snapchat. He told her he was right outside of her house, but when she went to look, no one was there. Frightened, she decides to sleep in her mom's room that night, and right before she goes to bed, she gets another text from the boy that just says, "I'm in your house." She shows her mom, who immediately searches the whole house, checks every door, turns on every light. There's no one there. So even though they're creeped out, they go back to bed. The next morning she gets up and she goes back to her bedroom and immediately feels like she's being watched. She checks in her closet, looks behind her door, there's no one there. Then she noticed that the shoe boxes she normally kept perfectly arranged next to her bed had been moved. So she crouches down to put them back in order, and then out of the corner of her eye she notices something. The boy who was texting her was under her bed.
Y'all be careful when y'all talking to people online. It's a lot of creeps out here. It's a lot of people that prey on people who are very vulnerable. Or who allow themselves to be vulnerable online just to meet new people. So just be aware of that, because you never know, that person could be hiding right up under your bed. Now this next story, for everybody who loves Disneyland, just Disney period, we've all heard some weird stuff going on with Disney. Even like the Disney kid actors, like I ain't gonna say all of them, but majority of them have grown up to be a little weird or like have some issues. But there's a lot of lore and creepiness and eeriness around Disney, just like the creator of Disney, who supposedly froze his body or got his head chopped off and it's frozen somewhere to be reincarnated later on, or I don't know if reincarnated is the best word, but to be brought back to life later on. Just a whole lot of eerie stuff behind Disney. Go check some of the facts out. But this one I thought was very interesting. I never heard this before, but another creepy story about Disney. Y'all check this out.
There is a secret about Disneyland the company doesn't want you to know. If you rode the Pirates of the Caribbean ride back in the 1960s, you would be impressed with how realistic the skeletons looked. That's because when this ride opened at Disneyland, all of the skeletons on the attraction were actual human bones. Now, they tried to install fake skeletons, but Walt Disney thought they looked too fake. So instead, they worked with the medical center at UCLA to get their hands on the real thing. Today, Disneyland says that there are no longer any human remains on the ride, but some people are unconvinced. The bed chamber skull seems to have the most speculation around it. Insiders confirmed that it was in fact real, and others have said that this skull, in particular, was donated by a former employee.
Creepy or cap? There's a lot of stories going on about Disney, Disneyland, Disney World, everything dealing with Disney. So I want to know y'all's opinion. Creepy or cap? I know this is a short episode, but I want to give y'all something in the spirit of Halloween. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. And this has been another episode of Garandaglass. I am Anthony Moore. Shout out to Steve. Catch y'all next time. Peace.